Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my TBR Star Hop for the month of August. That is crazy that I am already playing this game for August. I feel like this part of the year has gone by so quickly. The first part of the year was kind of slow, but the last few months have just flown by and I can't believe that we're already to August. It's a little bit crazy. I am filming this a few days in advance because this is literally the only day that I'm going to be able to film. I have been living in a different state, an area that doesn't really have internet access very well, and so I am back for one weekend in a 2-month period, so I have to film everything this month, today, while I am back here, and so I am filming a little bit early. I also forgot my straightener at the place where I am staying, so I don't have that either. So this is just a little bit of a mess, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. And I'm excited to see how the game treats me this month, but let's check in on how I did from last month. So if you remember, last month was fairly nice to me. I had Daughter of No Worlds for a Spinner Wheel TikTok book, which I did read. Jane Eyre for a audiobook, which I did read. Fourth Wing for the first book that I think of, which I did read. I also had a mood read, which I chose, The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I read. And I had, ooh, what was the other one? A book with a weapon on the cover, which I chose, The Beauty of Darkness, which I also did read. Now, here's where we come into a little bit of a sticky spot. So I also put on The Shadow Casket, which I did not read, but the reason I didn't even start it is because this was a planned buddy read with a friend who reached out to me and said that he was not ready to read it right now, had a lot of stuff going on and just wanted to postpone it a little bit, so neither of us started it for the buddy read. So it was like an intentional not read, but I technically still did not win for the month of July, unfortunately. What I'm gonna do though, because it was kind of like intentionally not reading the book, is I am going to keep the black hole on the board that was there before. I won't remove any, but I will not add another one because I could have started this one, like I could have even started this morning and counted it as a win, but I didn't because it's a buddy read that I want to read with my friend. So I'm not gonna remove a black hole, but I'm not gonna add one either. That's gonna be my compromise. Okay, so we are once again starting off this game with 3 black holes on the board. But you know, I just kind of feel like it's gonna be a decent month. I have a lot of optimism. I feel like I probably shouldn't be going in with this much optimism because it tends to kind of bite me in the butt when I do that. But I think it's gonna be a good month. And if it's not and it's mean, I just don't have the time for that. So the board just needs to be nice to me for its own sake. Okay, roll number 1. 4, I think that's okay. Ooh, that's a small number to start with though. Ooh, that's a good number to start with. Okay, not sad about that. So the comets are free spaces, so I just get to roll again. Come on, good numbers. 10, lovely. Seriously? Ugh. Okay, fine. That's fine. Whatever. It's okay. It's my first book. It's not a big deal. We can live with that. Okay, we're starting off a little weird. We hit a comet, which was great, and then we hit a wormhole, which is less than great. It's okay though. We didn't have to move too far back. That wormhole doesn't send us back as far as some of the others. And we're just gonna draw the wormhole jar and see what we get. For those of you who are new here, this wormhole jar is like, I have little pieces of paper that have all of the books that the book series that I am in the middle of, whether I've decided to DNF them or not. So there's a chance of getting some things that I really don't want out of here. There are some thick series as well. I mean, Wheel of Time is in here, Stormlight Archive is in here. There's some thick series, but there's also some easy ones like graphic novel series and middle grade series. So it could really go any direction. I'm a little nervous, but you know what? We'll just see what we get. Okay. What do we have here? It's Throne of Glass. I swear, I have drawn Throne of Glass out of that wormhole jar more than like any other series ever. But I actually have now completed the Throne of Glass series, so I'm gonna have to redraw. I do not know how Throne of Glass comes out so many times. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's a spider over there. There's a spider over there on my wall. Lovely. Okay, here we go. Drawing again. Got it. Please be nice to me. What do we got? I can't even read that. Modern fairy tales? No. No, this is a series that I was done with. I was not going to continue this series. Thank you, Wormhole Jar. I appreciate that. Let me go get it. It might take me a hot minute to find this series because I wasn't planning on continuing it, so I don't know where I put it. Okay, well, I came back upstairs to find that my memory card had filled up. I had no more memory, which has never actually happened to me before. I feel like I'm pretty on top of deleting things as I go, but these last couple months I've been a little bit off my game. So I had to go through all that process. It's now quite a bit later, so if the lighting has changed, sorry, the sun has literally moved. But I did find it. Valiant is the next book that I have in this series. The first book was Tithe. This is a young adult fantasy series. It's like an urban fantasy about this girl who can like see fairies and kind of her foray into the fairy world. And it is very much old YA urban fantasy. If you know, you know. So I read the first one, not for me. Didn't enjoy it. So I wasn't going to continue with it, but the Wormhole Jar had other things in mind. So apparently Valiant is going on my list for the month of August. I am so excited about this. I don't think you guys understand. This is by Holly Black, by the way, the same author as the Folk of the Air series, like Cruel Prince and stuff. And I hated that series. So I don't know why I decided to give this one a go when it was definitely her lesser liked series, but here we are. And yeah, Valiant is going on my list. At least it's short, right? It's short, it's a quick read. Okay, next one. 9. That should be fine. Ooh, another comet. I actually don't know if we've hit 2 comets in the same game before. This is awesome. Okay. No black hole. 11. Yes. 4. No. But why? Okay. Still okay. This is only the second book. It's not as bad as it seems. Okay, that was very weird. We got another comet and then another wormhole. I'm starting to not like the comets because I associate it with getting a wormhole next. So we're back with the jar. The last pick that the jar made for us was not the best. It wasn't the worst though. At least it wasn't long, right? I'm gonna look on the bright side of this, but let's hope that we get something that I'm a little more interested in continuing at least. There's a lot of series in here though, like a lot. So, okay. Got one. Come on, be good, be good. What do we got? No. So upside down, so upside down. Drowned Empire, yes, yes. Ooh, I'm a little embarrassed that this one is actually still legitimate. I should have finished this series a while ago, and I did not. So, this is going on the list. I'm not mad about it. I think this is actually good because I needed the push to finish this because this should have been done a long time ago and it wasn't. So, yes, I'll go grab the next book. Okay, I actually don't have the book with me because I took it up to Montana, but It is Bone Shard War, the third and final book in the Drowned Empire trilogy. This is an adult fantasy series. It has this really interesting magic that is centered around bone shards, and it has an interesting world set on this archipelago. We're following this daughter of the emperor who is trying to kind of get control of her empire to save it because her father is essentially kind of doing a very bad job as emperor. We're following a smuggler who has the cutest animal companion, and then a few other perspectives as well. This is the last book in it, and I just don't know how I haven't finished this series. I was supposed to have read this, I think, 2 months ago, and still have not gotten to it. So I'm actually kind of grateful to the Wormhole Jar for forcing me to continue on with this series. So this isn't a horrible pick. It's just an embarrassing pick. I'm just realizing I haven't drawn a single prompt card yet. It's been all comets and wormholes. 9. I think that's good. I think it's good. Yes. Okay, star. Here we go. And that is Mood Read. I got this one last time, and I'm not mad about the fact that I got it again. This is the best prompt. Okay, we have our first like actual prompt of the game. We got a star, and the prompt was Mood Read, which is my absolute favorite prompt to get. I'm not even mad that I've gotten it 2 months in a row. And this one, I can pick any book that I want to throughout the month to fill this prompt. Any book that I read that is not already on the list for my books to read for this month, I can choose to read. And honestly, the one I probably am gonna pick is The Shadow Casket, but that is just if my buddy reader is going to also be ready to read this one this month. So this one is the likely choice for it, and I think this is a good place to stick it in, unless like it comes up in a wormhole or something, obviously. But I think slotting this in for Mood Read is probably the safest place to put it, because then if I don't read it, I can just read something else and I won't have lost the game. So this is likely going to be the pick, but we'll see. Okay, I think at this point there are several numbers that we don't want to get. No 5, no 9, and no 12. There are 3. There's like a quarter of the numbers we don't want. Ugh. Here we go, you can do it. 7, yes. That is a good one, okay. I forgot for just a second what my numbers were. That is a good one. Moon, doable. Okay, what do we got? A book with an animal on the cover. Okay, I'm sure that's doable. Okay, moving along well this time. We got a moon and the prompt is an animal on the cover. And for this one, I am actually really excited to put on Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I read these books when I was younger and absolutely loved them. I've read this series multiple times. If you look at this, this is my edition I had when I was growing up. It's pretty beat up. It's definitely been read a few times, and I am excited to read it again, see how it holds up now that I am older. I haven't read it in many years. And Christopher Paolini, the author, is actually going to be at Dragonsteel this year, which is the Brandon Sanderson conference that happens on a yearly basis. And he is going to be coming because he's promoting his new book, Murtagh, which is within the same series and following a character that was prominent in the series. I'm really, really looking forward to that book, but I want to have reread this before that book comes out, so I like have it fresh in my mind. And I thought this would be a really fun series to do as a channel buddy read. So since I will be finishing the Drowned Empire series, hopefully towards the beginning of this month, and we can do the live show sometime this month, then this one will be the buddy read for this month, because I'm guessing most of you finished the other one before. This is a YA fantasy series. It has dragons. It has a lot of very classic fantasy elements like elves, dwarves, the chosen one, the wise mentor, you know, dragons, obviously classic. But I really loved this book. I feel like it did the classic tropes well, and I just had such a great time reading these as a child. So I'm not super a child. I think I was like up into high school, but I am really excited to jump into these ones again. So yeah, if you want to join the buddy read for these, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it'd be really just interesting to see what people think of these books so far after they have been published, now that they are kind of like an older series. I'm just really excited to try them out again and see how they hold up. Okay, we are in a very precarious spot. We don't want a 2 or a 5. Anything else, honestly, I would love it to be bigger than 5, but I will take anything but a 2 and a 5. Okay, come on, be nice. Yes, 9. We really rolled some big numbers in this game. Boom, final spot. This was a ride, but I'm really excited to be at the final spot and to be jumping into the spinner wheel. Okay, we have made it to the end. We didn't hit any black holes, even though there were 3 on the board. So I feel like this was a win. This was probably one of the oddest rounds of TBR Star Hop that I have played, but it was really fun. It was kind of a whirlwind, a little bit of back and forth. I think there were only 2 books that I actually got to choose what books I read, so definitely a different round for me. But we are on to the spinner wheel portion of the game. If you don't know, I have 10 seconds to find a book that matches the prompt that I get when I spin the wheel, or I have to spin again and add another book onto my TBR. And I also have to spin again if I get the same prompt as I did last month, and last month's was TikToks. So here we go. Okay. I'm not super picky on what prompt we get. I'm feeling confident. Adult fantasy. Okay. Gosh, why do I do that? Okay, let me think. Got time, don't panic. Oh, yes. Yes. I don't know why I let it go off that time. The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee. This was on my TBR last month, I believe. No, it was 2 months ago. This was on my TBR for June, I think. And I did not get to it. And then I was going to read it in July. Buddy read it with my friend Abby, and I did not get to it. But I did start it. Barely. I barely started this book. I'm like 30 pages in. So I am probably going to try to read this book this weekend if at all possible, because I want to be able to chat with Abby about this. We planned on doing it towards the beginning of July, and I have just been so busy and so not on top of my book buddy reads. So I'm so sorry, Abby, but I will be planning on getting it done, and I'm excited to add it to this TBR, because then finishing it before the month is over will be an August book that's already checked off my list, which feels really good, honestly. This is an adult fantasy series, and it is set in a world where there is this country, these people who are conquering other countries, and there's magic, there's, I think, like a lost heir maybe potentially going on here. And there's like prophecies and different religions kind of vying in here. I really don't know my thoughts on it yet because I just started it, but I'm really excited to read this book. I've met the author and he was really nice. And so I'm just hoping that this one lives up to my expectations. I'm really looking forward to it and excited to be able to fit it on. Even as the last book, I'm really happy this one is on the list. Okay, so here is my list for the month of August. It looks a little bit thick, but I think it will be very doable. We have The Bone-Shard War for a wormhole pick. We have Valiant for a wormhole pick. The Shadow Casket, I'm putting this one here because it's the likely choice, but I do have a mood read where it might be The Shadow Casket or something else, depending on my mood. Aragon for a book with an animal on the cover, and The Forgetting Moon for an adult fantasy spinner wheel pick. I think this is very doable, especially considering I am planning on reading this book this weekend, so I will already have the thickest book on this list off of it before this weekend is over. I think Aragon will be a really fast read because I've already read it before and it's a reread. This one, I could replace it with a really short book if I just wanted to win my game. This one's short, it'll be fast, and I feel like these books have gone really quickly. I've read them like in a day. So overall, I'm feeling fairly confident on these ones. Hopefully I'm not overly confident, but I think this month is gonna go well. And Oh my goodness, fingers crossed that I finally get to take a black hole off the board because it's getting ridiculous at this point. Okay, that is the end of my August TBR. I have some great books on here, books that I'm really looking forward to, one book that I'm really not looking forward to, but that is okay, it's short. And I'm thinking this is gonna be the month that I get a win. I need it, it's been way too long, and I need to win a month. It's just getting a little bit ridiculous at this point. So fingers crossed this happened. Fingers crossed I can read at least a couple of them this weekend so I can like get ahead on my August reading. We'll see how it goes. Let me know down in the comments what books you're planning on reading in August, if you've read any of these and you really love them, and let me know if you're going to join in the buddy read or the like channel read along for the Aragon series. I am definitely looking forward to it. I think this is one that a lot of people have read before, and it might be kind of intriguing to see what people's thoughts are now. So let me know if you're going to join for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.